The power of state. In this video, I want to talk about how dramatic and how important and how it actually affects your life in which state you are. And another word for state could be mood or how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the world. I've touched upon it in previous videos, but I reminded myself, I reminded the friend I was talking to yesterday how important it is. And I'm going to try a new approach with some of these videos. Please let me know whether you like it or not. And I'm going to talk about more concrete stories. So when I talk to people, etc. And so it's less a kind of a theoretical discussion about what I think or how you can think about life, but more like real concrete stuff. So this is a friend, met him a couple of years ago. He's an entrepreneur, or he became an entrepreneur a couple of years ago, and he found himself very recently kind of his company running out of cash and him running out of options and seemingly unable to raise more money. And so in a stuck situation and obviously going down kind of a negative spiral of like, oh, it's not working, I don't know what to do, maybe I should just give up type of thing. And he reached out to me like 2 days ago, and then we chatted yesterday. And the premise was he just wanted to catch up and talk, I guess, get stuff off his chest. And so we just talked and, sorry, that was low battery. So we just talked, and over, I don't know what it was, an hour, like we completely reworked his situation, his perspective. So in the material sense, nothing changed, right? The company is still in the same situation, he's still in the same situation, etc. He needs to solve this problem, but his mindset, it completely changed. And now, instead of saying like, oh, I'm thinking about giving up, now he's going to put all energy and to kind of make it happen and raise the money he needs to raise in the next 2 weeks. And I have no doubt, not just because I'm an optimist, but I have no doubt he will raise the money, because once you have the mindset, you will raise the money. And also, obviously now he's in a survival situation that if he doesn't make it, all the stuff he worked for 3 years, he will have, was for nothing. He will, not for nothing, but, there's no end product. It's the end of it, and he will have to do something else. I'm saying not all for nothing, because there was a lot of learning. So whatever he does next, he will do it a lot better, or maybe faster, or more successful. But anyway, we're not at that, or he's not at that stage yet. And he would have to let go his employees. He wouldn't be able to return any money to his investors and all. So that's kind of a sad ending. The stuff happens, but it doesn't have to, because he's not out yet, and there's still time, and it's not that much money, and so he just has to show up. I call it like show up in the world. Because if you're like, oh, nothing works, I don't know anymore, and maybe this is just a bad idea, and maybe it was just too much of a project, well, that's exactly what's gonna happen. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna, because you have to be your main cheerleader, right? If you're not excited about what you do, or what when you need money, or you need to close a contract, or you want to convince someone to go out with you again, whatever it is, if you're not convinced of it, why should the other person be convinced of it? You always have to be one step more convinced when you try to bring someone into the boat. Otherwise, like, if you don't believe in it yourself, like, why should I give you money into your startup, right? So in that sense, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you are, because sometimes obviously or many times we go through difficult periods in life, and then if you are in that state, he was yesterday in that situation, that nothing, like really kind of like, it feels like everything is collapsing. You have to pull yourself out of it, and if you can't do it yourself, you get someone on the phone that can. But you have to pull yourself out of it, and then go into that positive spiral up, like, because then once you're confident, once you say, hell yes, I can do it, I will do it, then you will be both convincing yourself, you will be more convincing to others, and you will have more energy to kind of seek out and make it happen. Because we create reality, right? We have agency in life, but we have a lot more agency than most of us think. Often we go into this victim mode where we are like reactive to life and like, oh, I'm unlucky, this always happens to me, you have an accident, shit, why does that happen to me? Well, shit happens to people all the time, all over the world. And you might think you're luckier or less lucky than others. Often we think we're less lucky. Um, but that's bullshit. That's just your mindset, right? So, but this mindset becomes who you are, becomes your belief, and it becomes your life. But even in a very short moment, like when you go into a meeting, an interview, whatever, you want to show up in that meeting with. Otherwise, why should people believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? So, and once you do, then everything starts unfolding in a positive way. So when you're in a down mode, you want to lift yourself up. And again, there's many ways of doing that. I talked about it in another video, and I would love to know which day it is so I could refer you to. I will be better prepared next time. But it's about, there's so many ways, because we are something much more holistic than our mind, right? Our mind is constantly reacting with the environment. So for example, when it rains, kind of lowers our mood. When there's sunshine, it lifts our mood. If you see someone that we like or love, that lifts our mood. If we see someone that we don't like or hear from someone, then so we're constantly reacting subconsciously. So even if you're conscious about it, it's hard to kind of pull yourself out of it. So the first thing is to be aware of that, and then using that as a trick to kind of change your state, right? And so you use your body and your emotions to get you into a different place. You just tell yourself, you get excited, and you put out the chest, and you lift yourself up, and you stretch up, and you kind of jump around. And these are just the physicalities for it, but that stuff works, right? When you are at a concert, you're more excited than when you're in your living room and it's quiet. And so you can just create that concert environment, and it doesn't have to be specifically a concert, but also, go for a run, you release dopamine, and then you're, in better shape. Like, there's so many tricks, and if you add a couple of them, you can completely shift yourself from like this doomsday scenario into like, oh, life is beautiful. Like, I'm healthy, I have friends, family, people that love me, I have a purpose, like in his case, like I'm building a company that changes people's lives, and that is an industry disruptor. And the funny thing, so you have to just realize all these things and then thrust forward. And the irony is that both in this specific situation, but also in life in general, we come through many of these kind of turning points, or kind of why, where we can go either left or right, and we not consciously, but based on our state, we might go left when we could have gotten right, and then a totally different life unfolds. So just spinning forward his situation, if he raises this money now in the next few weeks, then he will have enough money to go forward to kind of continue to show that track record that he developed, and then maybe he becomes one of the most successful startups in the world. Like, it just takes you off. That little decision now and how you feel can take your life in a completely different state. Now, I'm sure both his lives are going to be totally fine, but they're going to be very different. And obviously, the one where he turns his vision into reality is the more exciting. Otherwise, he wouldn't be working on this project in the first place, or he shouldn't be working on this project in the first place. So this realization that wherever you're at right now, you can be in a very different place the next moment. And especially if you're in a place where you are not happy right now, and we often find ourselves because our mind just challenges, constantly tries to point out things that are not good. And when things are actually really challenging, then it only sees a dark night, right? Everything is black, but that's not true. It's just your mind challenging you because it's survival optimized. But that is kind of working against you when you need to make stuff happen. So you just shift yourself into I can do anything, and actually I'm going to do it, and it happens, and it changes everything. And again, you can have others helping you with that, or you can do it yourself, or you do both together. But the realization, I can't like overstress the realization. Wow, it's 9 minutes already. Okay, I'm going to try to wrap up. But I can't overstress how much influence you have of where your life goes. It has nothing with what it is right now, because you can take it anywhere. It's just your vision will then become a reality, because that's how you prime yourself, and that's how you think about it, and that's how you show up to the world, and that's how you communicate to other world. And people pick up on that, and everyone picks up on that, and you self pick up on that. So you're more confident, and you will get, in this case, this money or whatever you're seeking. And it's just, and once you realize that, that's such a powerful thing, and that stays with you. And every time you do that again, you realize, yeah, I was in a bad mood, now I can do everything mood. and it works, and so you reinforce that thinking, and then it will become kind of second nature. It will become who you are, and then only amazing things will happen. It's really that simple. If you're still watching at this point, thank you, and I love feedback, so any type of feedback, please just leave it. And if you want to receive my videos every day, and the most easy way is to follow me on Instagram. It's Vincent Durrani, one word, and there's IGTV, and you can easily flip through all the past days as well. So it's a really easy way to kind of look at others, and all of them have a title. And so just follow me on there and let me know what I should talk about, what you like, what you don't like. Thank you.